Yes. All right, here we go.
Wow, you were almost perfect.
A minute until 20 minutes.
It was counting down at the top of my little how long I have on. So I actually got pretty good at that during COVID. I could figure out when I needed to stop it and all that stuff. All right, the graph of y equals negative 5x squared plus 9 passes through the point 1 comma 2a in the standard xy coordinate plane. What is the value of a? Ideas.
Just graph.
I mean, you could.
Put it on your calculator.
Oh,
Put it on my calculator.
I never even thought about that. You guys are smart. I thought about it a different way. So you could graph it. So plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, upside down like this.
Cool. Something's wrong with my window apparently.
Zoom standard. And they're saying if you're at 1, how far up are you? And then you divide that value by 2 to get your 2a value. You know, I could also do, I could put 1 in for the x. Did you ever think about that? Plug 1 in for the x. So I take negative 5 times 1 squared plus 9. Negative 5 plus 9 is 4. So at the point 1, I'm up 4 on this graph.
My graphing it's not working.
Did you guys graph it, or let's
I graphed it on
go on. You guys know how to graph on these graphing calculators? I'm gonna do it the way these guys. I thought that was a great idea. I'll finish it off this way too here in a second, but I'm gonna graph negative 5x squared, negative 5x. Oh, this will be a great one for review too. Plus 9, and then I graph it. All right, so your window's weird.
Yeah.
Zoom standard.
She got it.
No, it like
I
won't
thought
let me
you-
graph it because it says my Windows.
Let me see it. I was telling you window range is bad. I think you can just hit zoom standard, and it will go back. Yep. You can just hit the zoom menu and it'll crank it back. All right. So does anybody remember how to find the value at 1 on a calculator? Yep. Trace 1. If I trace 1, I'm at 4.
Yeah.
So you can trace. Don't forget, that's a really good, talk about a really good function for this thing is to trace 1. So I'm at 4. So the point passes through 1 comma 2a. Anybody want to take a guess as what the a value is? 2.
I accidentally circled 4 with no thoughts.
Oh, we got you.
Gotta
And you knew what you were
careful.
doing. Yeah. All right. Jerome, Kevin, and Seth share a submarine sandwich. Jerome ate half the sandwich. Kevin ate a third, and Seth ate the rest. What is the ratio of Jerome's share to Kevin's share to Seth's share?
What?
I'm gonna draw a submarine sandwich. Got some lettuce. Got some BLT
Oh
action
my
going
gosh, I
on.
had Jimmy John's today.
Oh hey, freaky fast. All right. So here's my sandwich.
Yeah, is there the one on Maple?
No. Wait.
No,
No.
but
If it's on
the
Maple,
one
it's
on
not
Maple
freaking
is kind of
fast.
pissing me off lately. They are so slow lately, and it's really frustrating.
They are not freaky fast.
No, they have not been freaky fast
A
at
lot
all
of Jimmy
lately.
John's.
All right.
The one next to my house is pretty fast.
So.
Yeah.
Jerome, here's J man. Jay ate half of it. Jerome ate half.
That joke? Let me know.
Be nice to her, she has cancer.
Jerome took
Kevin.
Did anyone else hear that?
I said be nice to her, she has cancer. 1/3. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be online. We're gonna go back. I'm gonna be deleting my YouTube videos.
At least gonna watch it and be like,
Oh no.
because that's why I find out tonight. It's like, I found out.
All right.
Swallowing it.
Yeah,
Anyway.
She was walking in the English and she was like,
How much is left over for Seth?
I was like, well, she's talking about
1/6.
What could she possibly?
How'd you get that?
I evened out the bottom part of the fractions, and then I subtracted it from 6 over 6.
What?
Trimacari.
And then you get 1/6, and then it's a 3, 2, 1.
1/6. Okay. And it is a ratio based. You're right. It's 1/6. Okay. So now we want to know what is the ratio of Jerome's share. Jerome had half.
Yeah.
To Kevin's share. Kevin had a third, and Seth's share. Seth had a sixth. It looks like I mean people will put 2, 3, 6 because that's the bottom, but this person had more, so that person's like value it'd be bigger. And you're right. It is a
3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1
Let's go.
because there's 6 parts total.
Chills.
There's a total of 6 parts. This person had 3 out of the 6. This person had 2 out of the 6, and this person had 1 out of the 6 parts. It's a 3, 2, 1. You just thought about it in, if you thought about it in terms like this, you could divide it up. He's got 3 of the 6 parts, because he's got half the sandwich. He's got 2 of the 6 parts, and he's got 1 of the 6
But I
parts.
wouldn't know.
Three,
the
two,
difference.
one.
Six.
I know.
You are so intense right now. I can tell you have so much caffeine.
All right. 100% conic section. You did this a week
I go
ago.
home. I went to
You guys go.
I went straight Starbucks.
These are
Well, I was trying to figure out how to get my app back, but I couldn't.
the equation of a circle.
If your
This is
place
the
doesn't let me
HI,
start ordering
and
ahead
this
on the
is
mobile app,
whatever's
I'm
with
gonna
the Y is the
probably
K
see.
value.
Mine won't, oh, well, we
The
shut
Y.
off mobile
So my center is
orders
5,
one
0.
time because we didn't have enough workers.
5, 0
And
is
now
the
you
center.
just never turned it back on.
This is
Oh,
called, it's called a conic section. And it's a circle. A circle takes the form x minus h squared plus y
What are the
minus
radius?
k
What,
squared equals r squared.
what are the
So
radius of the
these
circle and
two
coordinates
are
in the
Oh, it's so
coordinates of the
easy.
center of the circle? It's probably gonna be, oh,
And then the radius is whatever the square root of that
38.
angle is, so it's the square root of 38.
Oh wait, what is that?
I think it's the 5-1.
Okay, centered, and you guys haven't seen this yet, but it's
Same
conic
answer.
section. Centered at 5, 0. Centered at 5, 0. It's one of those up on top. Don't forget to change the sign.
Topper. It's
And then the radius is the square root of the end. The radius is root 38. You should have gotten that one. I hope you got that right. Or I
got
didn't
it
do a very,
right.
Got it.
or I didn't do a very good job a week ago.
I didn't really understand the last section of math, but we get that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Outside perimeter. Well, 8 and another 8. Then how big are those?
Well, this is 8. And to find that, I need radius. Can you find perimeter?
How do you find perimeter of a circle?
I don't know, because area,
I need that. It's a formula. You two should know this too.
what's perimeter? I only
What's
know
perimeter of a
area
circle the same as?
Perimeter is
Pi.
R squared, pi,
Nope, you gotta know these.
circumference?
dimension.
Circumference is
2 pi r.
2 pi r.
Oh man, oh
We're doing
man.
area.
But, I got half of it.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, who-
So it's just pi.
And then that and that are gonna be the same.
the heck?
So it's just pi times the radius, which is, what'd you say?
5 times 4 is
4.
12.
So
times
this chunk right here, from here to here, is 4 pi. So that means this chunk from here to here is 4 pi. Which one of those down there do you think represents the perimeter of that thing?
Mm,
Oh, wait.
I'm just gonna guess and check, 'cause I don't know.
8 pi plus 16. 8 plus 8 is the 16. 4 pi plus 4 pi is 8 pi. That's how they answer it. I'm in a big, I won't want to say fight, I'm in a big section with my geometry kids right now, telling them how ACT questions are going to look.
Wait, can you?
That exact problem we did today.
It's 8 pi because the 2, whatever circle.
4
is
pi
in
and 4
16
pi
is
are 8
from-
pi. 8 and 8
8.
get me 16. That's it.
And it's okay, you can't combine them.
I need to add it all sides of the perimeter. I did.
All right. The next one.
Yeah, but you don't need
Very
the two
formula
sides.
based, but I chose to do something different that you may not have thought of. So I thought it was a kind of unique solution, so I'm gonna do it that way. In the figure below, points E and F are midpoints of the sides, and I'm looking at this, and man, I'm bored already reading it all.
Me
Yeah.
too.
But hey, point G is an intersection. They tell me they intersect at AF. Point H is the intersection. Great. The interior of the big thing, except for the interior, is shaded. So all this is shaded except for that. What is the ratio of area of EF? So area of shaded. Oh wait, no, that would be non-shaded. Non-shaded. Non-shaded to shaded. And I'm going to choose, because this is how I like to do things, I'm going to choose to draw a picture. Watch this.
Why'd you? You did more cuts than I did.
Now, what would you say about all those triangles?
Equal to each other.
I think that triangle's the same as that triangle, the same as that one. All these triangles are the same. Okay, yes? So, how many non-shaded triangles are there?
Oh no, it's 1/3.
4. How many shaded triangles are there? 12. The answer is 1-to-3 ratio. Draw. Look at this. No graph paper, I still drew a picture. I still drew a picture. And I know, it's like getting you guys to it's like pulling teeth to draw pictures, but draw a picture, draw on it,
16.
mark up your picture, go with it. All right,
You know what though, Reagan?
39. I think this one's pretty easy. There's a formula. If you don't know it, it would be better if you looked it up than if I were to tell you. So go ahead and do 39. It is formula based.
Technically, wouldn't the last one cannot be determined because they don't technically tell us that they're equal?
It does say E and F are midpoints. So because those are midpoints, I know it.
Sorry.
I skipped over that. You had to know that information. So if you wouldn't have known these were E and F were midpoints, I don't know if you would have been able to get it the way it sits. But because that's endpoints, I knew they were in the middle. And because this is a rectangle, I knew these were going to cross. And then as soon as they started crossing, I knew all these triangles were going to be the same. So that was definitely a piece of information that was pretty important. You guys know the midpoint formula? It's at the front of my room if you can't remember it. In pink.
Oh, it's up there. I forgot my point. Where she is. I think I'm very wrong.
Didn't even draw a picture. Mr. Close, you got me on picture mode. I didn't even have to draw a picture.
You just drew it and then you're done? Yeah, you could do that too.
I just calculated it out.
0 divided by 2 is 0. 5. Next graph. I'm getting beat up.
Did you guys get it? Did you get it, Gabby?
What? Oh no.
Did you get it? So I added up the x's, I divided by 2, I added up the y's, divided by 2, and I got the ordered pair 5, 0 when I did the math. I got 10/2 and I got 0/2. I got 0.5, 0. And then this one asked for what is the x coordinate, so I circled the 5.
Are you guys skipping?
X coordinate, did you get that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, what is, and then I got, okay, you got 8 minutes and we'll take a little mini siesta for a second. But what does that word mean?
Surface area?
Yeah, around the outside, covering around the outside.
Around the outside.
Kind of. Surface area, and it's a cube. And the thing you got to know about a cube, if it ever says cube, all the sides are the same. So really, I got to do this once
Times 4.
times
6,
6 because there's 6 faces.
Yep.
So it's 8 by 8, which is 64. That's the side.
384.
And 64, and there's 6 faces.
See, like, why is that number 40? That was so much easier than, like...
384. Well, because some people won't know what surface area is, and they won't be able to generate that.
Some people are stupid, Reagan.
Well, I usually qualify
Okay.
as the math category as that as well, so...
All right.
Yeah.
I am hyped.
41. The equations below represent equations of a system where a, b, and c are positive integers. Which of the following describes the graph of at least one such system of equations in the standard xy coordinate plane? So I have this equation and I have this equation, and they talk about parallel intersecting lines and straight lines and blah, blah, blah. Do you guys know what you compare when you look for parallel perpendicular, what you're looking at?
They should know. We did this in algebra too.
Look at slopes. Yes. If you can look at the slopes, you can usually tell. So I can't really look at the slopes in this form. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get these into y equals form. So I'm going to do the first one, and then you're going to do the second one. AY plus BX equals C. I'm going to get the y by itself so I can get it in slope-intercept form. So I'm going to minus the BX. And I'm going to say AY equals negative BX plus C. And then I'm going to divide by A, divide by A, divide by A. And I get my y value is equal to negative bx over a plus c over a. Now, all I did there was I just solved an equation out without numbers, but it was the same thing that you would have done. You would have divided everything by a, and you just wrote it out like that. I want you guys to try that with this one. AY minus BX equals C. And try to get the y value by itself, just like before. It's a good practice, and then we'll try to answer the question. So I got AY equals, if I plus the BX over, I got AY equals BX plus C. I'll divide by the A, divide by the A, divide by the A, and I got Y equals BX over A plus C over A. All right, Bella, you were the smart one here now. You said compare the slopes. What are the slopes? Negative B over A. And this one?
BX.
Yeah, and you wouldn't count the X. You just look at it BX over A. So these two lines, parallel, perpendicular, or neither?
It's one single line.
Close.
Isn't it one single line? Because if they start at the same point, you go 1, 2 over.
They would be the same line if they had the same slope, but because their slopes are different,
Oh.
they're not a single line,
Because there's.
and they're definitely not parallel because they're not the same. So if those two were the same, they'd be parallel. So they're not parallel. So why, do you know why they're not perpendicular? Because you were really close. I know what you're seeing, but
Yeah, because if they're opposites, shouldn't they be perpendicular?
opposites and, there's another piece of it. Perpendiculars are, the terminology was negative reciprocal.
Mhm.
So you have to flip it and change the sign.
So it'd be A
Reciprocal.
over B.
So if this one was if this was negative B over A and this was A over B, then they'd be perpendicular.
Oh, okay.
But because it's not flipped, it's just negative, they're only intersecting, they're gonna cross. So 2, and I think my least favorite question on any type of test ever in the history of the world is 1 only, 1 or 2, 2 only, 2 or 3, 1 or 2 or 3. I just hate them.
So if we knew what X was,
You gotta
we
deal
could
with 'em.
see if it was a single line, like if X was the same. Wait.
Well, you would have numbers in these spots most of the time. They did it from a literal from a
So-
equational standpoint. But if the perpendicular would be like this, 3/5 and negative 5/3.
Yeah, I know that, but what would make it a single line? 'Cause-
Oh, if these two slopes were the
They're
same.
just the same, yeah.
No
Like
negative.
exactly.
All of this would be the
because
same as all that.
negative goes-
Yeah,
Yeah.
because one's gonna go like that and one's gonna go like that. They have the same y-intercept, you're right, but that,
And then parallels be like 3/5 and negative 5 over 3.
no, parallels 3/5 and 3/5, and different y-intercepts.
And different y-intercepts.
The 3/5 and 3/5 same y-intercepts would be same line.
Okay.
3/5 different y-intercepts are parallel. Yeah, that was, you guys probably did that, right? Parallel, perpendicular, neither? Are the two lines parallel, are the two lines perpendicular? All right, I'm gonna